I am live. So, for the first time, I am live. So, let me see which one of my subscribers and our viewers are in line. I scheduled the time for 7. It's now 5 to 7. So, I'm waiting to see who's going to show up, and I'm only been live for 27 minutes. So might as well just give my regular old greetings and say, hello people, welcome to my first live. This live I've actually titled Talk to Me, because that's pretty much what I want people to do. Talk to me. So I've got 7 people online. Esther, strategic advisor, one of my favorite subscriber. You're the first person I've seen with a name actually. So Esther, big up yourself. You've always been one to comment on the channel, so I have to show my appreciation to you. I've got is that Cash Gold? Forgive me if I don't pronounce your name right, but you said hi, and I just want to say hi back in return. This is actually my first live, so I'm kind of like on new grounds here, but I've watched a couple people live, and it's pretty much just be yourself. So I'm actually waiting for one to strike up a question and or a conversation, and then New York City, born under the clock. Big up yourself. Esther, likewise. Big up my chest. Yeah, so born under the clock. Big up yourself. I've got I'm actually doing this on my phone, so it's actually, my phone is like this way. So my camera is here, but your texts are here. So bear with me, because what happened is your text message or your message comes up. I have to read it and it quickly disappears. So there is also here a chat box. I'm gonna click that and see what happened. So I've got chat viewing, tap, live chat, all messages. So I want to see you guys' message. So bear with me here.
Tap the chat icon.
I've got somebody there in the background. Can you hear? If you guys know me well, then you guys know that Wife for Life is usually not too far away from me. So
Esther is asking where's wife and son.
So I actually can't see the messages. So I need to be able to see the messages. Oh, Wife for Life is right here. You know.
Did you
So
click this one?
yes. So I clicked this, but I'm not getting anything. So
Live
chat,
chat.
live chat. That's where I'm at. But
Okay.
I can't see anybody's message. Click on that. No. All right, hold on. So what y'all gotta do? Y'all gotta translate for me.
Oh,
So
it's coming up.
okay. Opal White, big up yourself, goddaughter. I know that's you. Esther say you've got a pretty top. So let me turn my camera around and show you guys. I've got a live audience here with me as well. So there they are. So I've got a wife and son here with me. I'm actually having trouble seeing you guys' message. So Wife for Life have to keep me up to date with who's saying what, for me to talk to them live. Yeah.
So I have to say thank you, Esther. She's saying the pretty top.
Okay. And let me get a phone. Maybe
Somebody got a question.
it's easier for me to Esther says hi to the son. So
It comes up there and it disappears.
it disappears, but I would really want to just see it, I mean, so I'm getting, yeah, so bear with me. I know when I'm on my normal channel, I'm just usually fluent in what I'm saying, but now it's a correspondence. So Like I say, Opal White, my goddaughter, I just spoke to you, but since you joined the live, I want to say big up yourself. No, actually, I don't live in France. I live in Switzerland, Zurich to be exact. It's 7 o'clock here. So where exactly are you? Okay, so the messages do come up, but they come up and then they just disappear. Like when you're on the phone here, the messages are like that. So, okay, Wife for Life just hooked me up. So now I'll be able to read you guys' message when it comes up straight away. So, talk to me, people. Esther, if you're still online, where exactly are you and what's going on in your area? So, trying to understand this.
Somebody asked about the federation. Why did Jamaica leave the West Indies Federation, and why do they always resist
Okay.
things like CARICOM?
Let me know what you from France.
Oh, he meant he was watching.
Okay, so Esther said when a lot of people comes on, it will be even harder for me to keep up. You know what? I sense that already. So I actually, Wife for Life just gave me a tablet, so I'm actually seeing them a better way now. So I've got the tablet here, so if you guys see me looking down, it's easier to read your messages like this.
Which one? Yeah. So cash.
Oh, you're watching me from France. My bad. Big up yourself. I'm pleased to know that people are actually watching me from France. I've actually been to France a few times. Where exactly in France are you? You know, I've been to France, but I've been on a tourist mode, so I've only been to Paris. Who else is there? I got 19 people online, but I've only really got like 3 people that's actually saying something or talking. So, well, I've got 21 people now. So let me hear what's going on in your area. I'm here. We can talk about anything. Ask me any question. And someone asked, why did Jamaica leave the West Indies Federation? And why do they always resist things like CARICOM? You know, it's one of those things that I've always taken on. I've actually just accepted the fact that Jamaica is a part of CARICOM. But to be honest, you know, if you've followed my channel for a while, you know that I always criticize the lack of union in CARICOM. In regards to the Federation and why did they leave it, I can't really give you an answer, to be honest. I don't particularly know, so I just kind of accept the fact that they are a part of CARICOM. But I don't like the way things are going on in CARICOM. I don't like the union, you know. It's a union, but it lacks unity, if you know what I mean. Esther says she liked the Federation question, but you can actually say your piece, Esther. Let me hear. How do you feel about it? Do you think Jamaica should have stuck to the Federation, or do you think it was a good move for CARICOM? Today is pretty much one of those jumbled days, so every and any subject are welcome. So if we want to talk about the quarantine, we can discuss the quarantine. If we want to talk about Jamaica and its politics, we can talk about Jamaica and its politics. And if you've got personal questions, feel free to ask personal questions. That's what I'm here for today. Kwame Ashanti, big up yourself, Kwame from South Florida. You have always given me a shout out, and you've always acknowledged everything that I put on YouTube since you've been a part of my channel. So I want to acknowledge you and let you know, big up yourself. Delight, big up yourself as well. Delight says, as far as the Federation, Jamaica felt that they were paying too high of a membership fee and were not receiving proper representation. Well, that in itself, being a fact, would be a reason for anyone to leave any federation. So I'm going to go with Delight and go with that answer and say that is the reason. I mean, I don't know personally, but Delight is one of my subscribers that's been around for a minute, and I trust the comment. I've got Charlie Adams. Should the Caribbean have closer economic and political ties to Africa and Latin America? Of course, 100%. I would support that. Caribbean and Latin America identifies with each other more than we identifies with anybody else, you know. So for the Caribbean and Latin America or Africa, having closer economic ties, I'm 100% in support of that. Delight says there were many other reasons why the Federation broke up. I would imagine so, but that reason that you did give, that reason in itself, you know, put myself in their shoe would be a reason for me to want to go out. I mean, if I'm paying high fees, I would like to be represented properly. And we've got Pong, respect and bless up from Oregon. Big up yourself, Pong. You know, I'm pleased to know that I've got people in Oregon State. You know, my son is a fan of Oregon State, the basketball. so yeah, big up yourself, Pong, and I respect the shout out. Esther says, no idea regarding CARICOM. Too long. They're firing too long. Jamaica is about to increase accessibility because Panama Canal widening. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, Kwame, like I said, big up yourself. And Delight says the Ghanaian president. Oh, that was the one that was it the Ghanaian president that was in Jamaica recently? No, that wasn't the Ghanaian president. That was Kenyan president. All right, let me read what you said, Delight. Ghanaian president was on a recent Caribbean tour. That's right. Trying to bridge the gap between the regions and Africa. In fact, he promised to provide Ghanaian nurses and doctors to Barbados. Now, that in itself is a good thing. Jeff Walt, let me try to acknowledge Jeff Walt. Big up yourself. Why so many Jamaicans are indisciplined. I've covered that so many times, Jeff, on my channel. It's ridiculous, you know. As we say in Jamaica, them no behavior. But it's a crisis that the culture of Jamaica have struggled with for so many years, even though most of us were brought up under good morals and under good instruction. But you know how it is, people always go wayward. But hopefully the new generation, I mean, they're not even doing too better themselves, but let's hope that the new generation curveball that and put Jamaica and our behavior in a better light.
She's Caribbean.
She's Caribbean. Good day, everyone from California. California in the house. Big up yourself. She Caribbean. She Caribbean. Sorry for tripping over your name, but I like it.
Under Delight, yes.
So, Delight. Yes, you're right. After the Kenyan president had left, then the Ghanaian president was there, because it was after the Ghanaian president came to Jamaica, I looked into Ghana, and that's when my wife and I came up on the door of no return. And we thought we have to go visit Ghana to have that experience. Charlie Adams, I'll be streaming here for about an hour, hour and a half. I give myself an hour, hour and a half. And the reason why I give myself an hour, hour and a half is because it's 7 p.m. at the moment. The sun is just going down. And I think after 7 p.m., then I would have to, after 8:30 p.m., I would have to turn on the lights. And the lighting is not as good with my camera phone. So I'll be here for about another hour and 15 minutes. I've got Charlie Adams. Will CARICOM ever get repatriation from the UK? Man, that is an excellent question. You know, I can only hope so. But, you know, if you've been following my channel for a while, you'll realize that I criticize the Jamaican government the most because it's my government. But I criticize the whole Caribbean government and the stronghold or that forever grip or lock that the UK still have over us as Caribbean people. So repatriation is something that I would love to see in my lifetime, but considering that that grip has been there so long, we can only hope. Jeff Wall, do you think the government could out corruption of the cut out corruption out of the police force? Good question, because it's a subject that I've actually addressed before. My idea in aim to cut out corruption is this. People such as police officers and soldiers and armed force workers, they work for money. So I think the government should double or triple their monthly income. And whilst doing that, just build a prison in itself for police officers and armed force people and politicians as well. So when these people violate or are found to be corrupted, these people should get like the full arm of the law. So what I'm saying is sentencing guidelines should just be changed or should just be prescribed for police officers and politicians. But police officers should be getting paid way better and have no real reason to be corrupt. So if they are corrupt, then you realize that they're just greedy, and because of that, they should just be thrown under the prison. Let me know if you agree with that. I know it sounds a bit harsh, but that's how I feel, and that's one way of actually curtailing corruption in the police force. Delight, you already know how I feel about you. Blessings to you likewise. And blessings to you from the wife as well. Oh.
But that's a bit late.
Okay, so.
Oh no, it's not. It's on.
Just carry beyond.
So.
Delight and Charlie are talking
Charlie.
to each other.
Well, this is what I want, you know, this is what I want. I want my subscribers and my viewers to interact with each other because it's one of the reasons why I'm doing the live. I'm doing the live because usually when I do my videos, you guys have no other choice than to just sit back and hear what I have to say. But now doing a live, y'all can give me an immediate objection or an immediate agreement, and you can also show your own views as well. Jeff Walls, I really appreciate that comment, you know, and thank you very much for always staying tuned when I upload a video. I've had a YouTube channel for a minute, but I've actually only started doing contribution towards Jamaica and politics in the Caribbean region only about 1.5 years now. So thank you very much for being a part.
She's Caribbean. You should do a segment on diaspora.
Kwan Ho, checking out of London. Big up yourself coming out of London, Kwan Ho. Kwan Ho. White for Life is actually from Birmingham, UK. You know, that is her stomping grounds, and that's where we actually first met. But of all the places in the UK, London is my favorite getaway spot, and it has become White for Life getaway spot as well. So hopefully next time when we're in London, I can give you a live shout out, and who knows, we could just have a meet and greet. So big up yourself. Okay, we've got a cold moment, but I've addressed everybody.
She's Caribbean. You should do a segment on diaspora.
She's Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Caribbean. Oh, she's Caribbean. I just got the name as well. You know, I was saying, you get the name now. She's Caribbean, like she's Caribbean. I love it. I mean, at first it jumped out to me as a unique name, but now that I've even put it to the Caribbean, it's genius. What was the question?
You should do a segment on diaspora that are looking to relocate outside of the US or Caribbean.
Okay, definitely she's Caribbean. I'll definitely do a segment on that because that in itself is an interesting topic. I like that. And I like the fact that your name is not only genius, but you've got a genius brain right there as well. I can see that. So enough respect.
Delight, Ian, your channel is going to grow.
Delight, thank you for the support. You know what? I respect you guys as my subscriber, but I have to give a lot of the praises to White for Life because if you guys go to the beginning of my channel, you realize that I just used to post random stuff that are just personal to me. And then one day I decided to do a video that was about some girl that left London and took some shoes to Jamaica and had to pay a whole lot of money. And I decided to address it on the channel. I got 9,000 views and asked White for Life if she think I should just address Jamaican stuff. And she says, well, that's what you know best. And that's what I've been doing since then. So enough respect to all of my subscribers. And hopefully I can turn some of my viewers into subscribers as well because outside of my day-to-day job, I like to discuss Jamaica. I like to discuss the culture. I like to discuss politics and law. And as you guys can tell by now, I like to talk. So if you're going to have a channel like mine, you just have to like to talk. So much respect and thank you guys very much for the constant support. My secretary has just given me some water.
Your voice is going.
Kwan O, enough love, enough respect.
Delight, we here in New York.
Epicenter of the worldwide crisis, blessings to the entire world. Definitely Delight. I've lived in New York, whether or not you knew that. I've lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn for 6 months. So, you know, I lived in Philadelphia, but I moved to New York and I lived there for 6 months. Even way before this, decades ago, New York, you know, it is the hot spot. So if New York is being crippled by this pandemic, it is very concerning. Howard Mullings, big up yourself. Howard Mullings, big up yourself. Just a little insight, and the reason why I'm going to share this with you is because some of White for Life family are actually Mullings. So who knows? So, from Newark, New Jersey, I've been to Newark, New Jersey as well many years ago. I've been to Patterson, no, that's Patterson, New Jersey. I've been to Newark, New Jersey. It was a bad experience because my car got towed away at the airport.
proud to say you are younger than I.
Am I? I mean, I can't remember if I ever announced my age on. I've always said I'm a 70s child, but I've never ever quite say how old am. Maybe I have, because Delight. So let me address that. I'm 48. White for Life is also 48. So let's see if that changed your perspective. If we are still younger than you, you know. But we try to keep it up, you know. Would you say that, White for Life? Well, yeah, we do try to keep it up, you know. Come have a seat, so let me see. If we could fool them as a couple in our 20s, you know.
Of course.
See, yeah. We could still, well, you could pass for like 25, 30,
Yeah.
you know. People would put me at about 30, 32. Yeah. Let me see what Delight says. Did a calculation when you mentioned about the DJs, being a DJ. Okay. Man, 51. You're right there. We're right on your tail. You know, we're right on your tail. You know?
Charlie has a question.
It's a question.
Wait.
Jamaican sister is very cool. Do you think the Maroons are right not to help Boggle? Or did the Maroons do the right thing for
Where
the
are
people?
you?
Oh, I'm going to come back to that.
Philly.
Philly in the house, you know. Everybody that's on my channel should know that from Kingston, Jamaica,
Yeah.
my second home was Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So big up to every and anybody from Philadelphia. You know, I have to be drinking because I'm so excited about doing my first live that I'm losing my voice. But White for Life can get me one of her throat lozenges, you know.
You want one? I'll
Yeah.
get you one.
Both.
Jeff, big up yourself and thank you for that compliment.
Where did you put them?
In my drawer. Charlie Adams, yeah, I mean, that's my thing, you know. I like to discuss politics, but I like to agree and disagree. I like the challenge, and I also like learning from other people. I like sharing what I know, and I like when other people teach me a thing or two. Or, you know, sometimes you think you know it all, but you only have like half the story. So I do like when people interject and let me know that, okay, you're half right, but here's the rest of it. And believe it or not, I do enjoy when people object to my entire view, because I see it as an opportunity to learn from them, if you understand what I'm saying. Somebody asked a question earlier, but it went by so quick. What was the question?
Charlie Adams asked.
Jeff Walls, you know what? I will come back to the United States of America, but definitely not to live. You know what? When I lived in America, I had a tunnel vision of just the United States of America and Jamaica. But after traveled and lived, I've lived in the UK. I lived in the UK for 8 years. And then we moved to Switzerland. And now we've been living in Switzerland for 7 years. And over the years that we've lived in Switzerland, we've traveled to other countries. And we love Switzerland, you know. So even if I should ever go back to the United States of America, it would only be for like a week or 10 days at most, you know. I think I would miss Europe,
Yeah.
you know. And this may surprise you, and maybe it may not surprise you, but the only other place other than Switzerland our family wishes to live is
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Jamaica is home at heart, you know. You guys can tell how I defend Jamaica as much as I criticize. Darrell, hello to you. You guys can tell how much I love Jamaica as much as I criticize Jamaica and its government. You know what I mean? But Jamaica is home at heart. Outside of Jamaica, we love Switzerland. You know, and it's because we love Switzerland why we've been here so long.
Yeah.
Going on 8 years now.
We're almost Swiss people.
We're almost Swiss.
Delight, I'm watching a few reports about Africans being treated badly.
Someone sent me Africans treated badly. Where?
In Guangzhou, China.
Someone sent me a link on Instagram about blacks being forced out of China. I've not actually seen it myself, but I need to look into that some more. And if that is indeed a fact, it's an issue that I need to cover.
Okay, now you need to answer Charlie Adam's question because he said about it. Jamaican history is very uncool. Do you think the Maroons were right not to help Paul Bogle, or do you think the Maroons did the right thing for the people by helping the British?
Going way back to a question, who asked it?
Charlie Adam.
Charlie Adams about the Maroons. You know how I feel about selling out. You know, I don't appreciate selling out, so I'm just gonna hurry up and say I'm against the Maroons selling out Paul Bogle. Every time you're about to answer my question about the Maroons, sorry about that. But like I say, no, I don't agree with Bogle, the Maroons selling out Bogle.
Ms. mentioned.
Ms. Mention, big up yourself.
She always watches but never comments.
Well, I mean, I know I've got some of those subscribers that just sit back in the cut and just watch and scrutinize, but I'm very happy that you show face here, and I'm very happy that you've made your presence felt. So, Miss Mention, bless up and big up yourself.
DJ Rain Movement Jamaican thing.
Hold on, someone asked, what is it that we like so much about Switzerland?
That's him.
Huh?
That's him.
Oh, the first thing I like about Switzerland, it's orderly. That's my number one praise of Switzerland. Everything is just in order, you know. So, the what you would say, the residents and citizens of Switzerland are very law-abiding. So you find out that a lot of people don't like Switzerland because they say it's too many rules. But I like Switzerland because of the rules, and the rules work for both the government and the residents, such as myself. And the second thing I like about Switzerland is it's quiet. You know, it's quiet, it's peaceful. And the third thing I like about Switzerland, this may sound cliche, but it's stress-free. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Stress-free in Switzerland. I think you would only have problems here if you create them by yourself. There's not a lot of Jamaicans in Switzerland. The last time I checked, I heard Switzerland had 8 million people, but about 250 Jamaican families.
Are there tensions between Maroons and other black Jamaicans? That's Charlie Adam.
Okay. Let me try it. Y'all gotta keep up with me now. Say that again.
Are tensions between
Are there
Maroons and other
tensions
blacks?
between Maroons?
No, there's no tension between blacks and the Maroons. Believe it or not, to my personal knowledge, there's not any real way of identifying blacks and Maroons in Jamaica. A lot of black Jamaicans identify themselves as being full-on Maroon or part Maroon. So there's really no tension between blacks and Maroon. It's just respect all the way around.
Brian Bilford, watching from upstate New York.
Upstate New York. Brian, big up yourself. I've been to upstate New York. I don't know how far upstate you are. I've been to Poughkeepsie. Would you say that's upstate or that's too far upstate? Charlie Adams, I speak German. I'm on the German side of Switzerland. Switzerland is bordered between France, Germany, and Italy. And where I am right now is about 10 minutes in my car and I'm in Germany. So we speak German on this side and we have a dialect. So they call it Swiss German, and in German that is Schweizerdeutsch.
She's Caribbean, says taking notes about Switzerland.
Born under the clock. That no change at all. So Jamaican food is still hard to find. Somebody wants us to say something in German, so should I have a conversation in German?
Yeah.
So, Wife for Life and I are going to have a quick conversation in German. And so, hallo meine Frau.
Grüezi wohl, mein Herr.
Und was machst du heute?
Ich hatte Arbeit heute.
Ja, ich weiß, dass du Arbeit gehabt, aber was machst du heute bei Arbeit?
Ich war in der Küche.
Aha. Aber waren so viele Leute oder wenig Leute?
Nicht so viele Leute. Vielleicht 120 Leute.
Ah, das ist so viele Leute. Waren über 100? That is so viel. So, that's a little conversation in German right there. Okay, keep me up to date, Jay.
Brian Bilford, Catskill, 45 minutes north of
Poughkeepsie. Okay. Big up yourself, Brian.
Charlie said, Deutsch Americans.
Yeah. Schweizerdeutsch and German is it's the same, but the Germans don't like Swiss German because they kind of find it offensive to their language because there's a little,
Just like patois.
it's like patois versus English, you know? Delight, you speak Spanish. Miss mentioned black people speaking German. You'll be surprised. There's a lot of black people in Germany. There's not so many black people in Switzerland, but there's a lot of black people in Germany. There are some black people here, but I would say about 2% of the population are black people. So we're kind of a novelty here, especially when you're a couple and both of you are black.
Yeah.
That is a rare sight in Switzerland.
I happen to speak, read, and write Spanish tonight.
Oh, Delight speak. You know what? I speak a little Spanish, but only a little Spanish. So let me remember my Spanish.
Donde está?
No. Hambre la puerta. Hambre la puerta is open the door.
Buen juego means good game.
And I understand tiempo and some other thing. Love to hear German speak. Always want to learn. You might be one of the few people who actually like German. You know, not a lot of people. A lot of people think the German language is so aggressive. You know,
You have to use that.
you have to get down in your throat a lot for the K words. Miss Mention.
Umbrella puerta.
Teach German in high school in the 70s. Wow, okay, I'm impressed. So I've got a teacher on my squad. I like that.
No. I think Jamaica used to do it in the curriculum.
Oh, Jamaica used to do it. Jamaica. I thought you said you used to teach German. Okay. Yes, that's the only. When I lived in America, I lived in Philadelphia. You guys know about Philadelphia. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans in North Philly. So I learned some Spanish from mingling with Puerto Ricans.
Charlie,
Adams, do you like Michael Manley?
Michael Manley, you know what? When Michael Manley was Prime Minister, I was a child. But, so I wouldn't say I felt the full brunt of his leadership. After I got older and studied Manley, I realized that his intentions were good. But to be honest, as I was growing up, the impression that I had of Michael Manley was not good. It was like Michael Manley the impression I got was that Michael Manley wanted Jamaica to be like Cuba under communist rule. So based upon that in itself, I wasn't so favorite of Michael Manley.
Brian Bilfold, was it difficult adjustment moving to a German-speaking country?
It was very difficult moving to Switzerland and learning a new language. Believe it or not, Jeff Walls, yes, we're in Switzerland right now. Believe it or not, when we first moved to Switzerland, the first 11 months was so hard for us understanding documents and reading documents that we moved back to England. Believe it or not, it was that difficult. We went back to England and we did 3 years in England. And the economy was so bad in England and we weren't being able to live how we were used to living in England. And we said, you know what? Let's take the leap again. And we came back to Switzerland in 2012. And we haven't looked back since.
Delight is saying there is a German town in Philly, and Delight also says Michael Manley is the greatest.
Michael Manley is the greatest. I can't knock anybody who say that but I don't know enough personally. Like I say, I was a child during Michael Manley's reign, so people of his time would have to educate me. But I know a lot about Seaga because, as you guys heard me say on my channel, I'm from the ghetto in Jamaica. I was born in the ghetto, so my primary school was next to Jonestown. So I'm familiar with the PNP strongholds, and I'm also familiar with the JLP strongholds. So I kind of know the temperament of each parties and how many violence came from one party to the next.
Jeff Walsh is only living in Switzerland right now.
Yeah, he answered that. Charlie Adams, I thought Michael Manley was just a socialist. I didn't think he wanted full communism.
Okay, so I didn't know that. I didn't know whether Michael Manley wanted full communism for Jamaica or he just wanted socialism. But just bear with me and realize that as a child, the information that came to me from the adults talking around me, whether they're speaking factual or biased, that's the information I kind of sucked up. So I can't really say Michael Manley was a bad prime minister or he was a good prime minister.
Okay, Delight saying I admire the German people.
German people,
the person is saying I admire the German people. They admire.
there's a German town in Philadelphia, but I don't think there's much German people that lives there.
Okay, she's carried beyond saying what job opportunities are in Switzerland.
Switzerland's job opportunities, Switzerland brags on the fact that it possesses one of the lowest unemployment in the world. So Switzerland, someone just wrote in German. I'll get to that in a minute. But job opportunities before the pandemic were here. 2008, when I first came to Switzerland, jobs were everywhere. Within a year, I had like 3 different jobs in 2008 when I first came here. Prior to the pandemic, job opportunities are pretty much the same, but you know, Switzerland has a very low unemployment. I think it was 3% of the population that is seen as unemployed.
So
Okay.
you're saying, ja, die Deutschsprache ist etwas schwer. Ich lebe seit 8 Jahren in Deutschland, in München.
Oh, München. I have a friend there. Ik heb een collega daar. Would Brexit affect your resident?
No.
Brexit does not affect the residency of us in Switzerland, and here's the trick to that. Switzerland is not a part of the EU. Switzerland is only a part of the EEA. So residents in Switzerland or Swiss citizens are not affected by Brexit. It means that Switzerland are in agreement with some of the EU rules, but they did not sign in to be a member. So Switzerland is not a member of the EU, and Switzerland do not use the euro. Switzerland use its own money, which is called Swiss francs.
So, DJ Rain saying, I don't know, he just sent smiley faces.
Delight, bless up.
I said, schön.
Schön.
And Delight said, my uncle was stationed in Stuttgart for many years whilst in the US Army.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
We got
the
DJ.
Health Light. Do they have acupuncture physician, holistic health in Switzerland? Yes.
Delight, not Delight. The Health Light. I'm so used to calling you Light, so now I've got to adapt to this other name, the Health Light. They do have.
Is that the same person?
Yes, I know the logo. Yeah, they do have acupuncture physician here. Is that what you do?
There's a lot of, what do you call it now? Thailand people do it.
Yeah, a lot of Thai people are here. A lot of females from Thailand are here. But yeah, it's one of those things that, like I said, the market is here for it. So now, if you change your name to the Health Light, I'm gonna respect it and call it the Health Light. You know, so the Health Light it is.
TDC is what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Light does. So.
Delight, Charlie, oh, they're talking with each other.
DJ
Delighted
something
Charlie.
said something. Go back to that for me.
Schön.
No, DJ.
Yeah, DJ Rain Movement.
Yeah, go back
He
above.
just says schön.
He said something before that.
Little smiley faces.
Okay. Because I'm trying my best not to let anybody's comment pass. So I've got my wife and my son here playing secretary.
Brian Billfold, you said there aren't many black people in Switzerland, but is there a lot of racism?
Racism is everywhere in the world. Do we feel racism here in Switzerland? Not at any intense level. I guess you can find racism if you're looking for it. You know, if you're kind of like, we live in Zurich, in the city, and the city of Zurich, it's kind of like any other major city, multicultural. So we don't really feel any racism here. If there's any racism, it's kind of like a positive racism. We get admired a lot. People stare a lot. Everybody wants a black friend. It's cool to have a black friend. It's cool to know somebody black. So not in a negative way. I think in Zurich, I think people kind of go out their way for black people not to feel racist against. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Because the subject of black or white is such a sensitive one, so I think a lot of people here try their best not to let black people feel uncomfortable. However, in the countryside of Switzerland, I wouldn't say it's racist. I would say it's more xenophobia, where people are not accustomed to seeing us. You know, before we moved here to Zurich City, we lived closer to the border of Germany, which was a country part of Switzerland, and we were the only black family in that whole community. You know, I mean, where we live at the moment, we are probably the only blacks around as well. It's not a lot of black people here.
So Health Light is saying, I am a black physician. Is there many Jamaicans where you are?
Where I am, I've been in Zurich for 7 years. I'm aware of Jamaicans being in Zurich, but I've only had an opportunity to meet one. So I met a female Jamaican about 3 years ago, and that was the last time I seen her. So Jamaicans are here. They have a thing called, what they do every summer? Jamaica Link Up. They have a Jamaica Link Up thing that they do in the summer. I've never attended, but I guess there are Jamaicans and that's where they gather. But there's still not a lot of Jamaicans because Africans blend in with us to make our population here a little bigger, but there's not a lot of Jamaicans here.
There's a lot of Dominicans.
They got Dominicans, they got Cubans.
A lot of Haiti.
I've met someone from Cuba. I've met someone from the Dominican Republic. A lot of Brazilians are here. You know, a lot of Brazilians are here.
So yeah, Howard Mulling sounds like intelligent people to me. We'll try to visit one day.
Say that again.
Sounds like intelligent people to me. We'll try to visit one day.
Who says that?
Howard Mulling.
Howard Mullings, without a doubt, any of my subscribers set foot in Switzerland, I would be offended and I would feel disrespected if we didn't make a link up. You know, I'm here in Switzerland, so any of my subscribers from anywhere around the world, you guys come to Switzerland, you gotta visit Zurich and we have to link up.
So answer Charlie. Will anti-Chinese sentiment make things worse for Chinese Caribbeans? Like the descendants of Chinese endured
No,
indentured workers.
who said that?
Charlie
Charlie
Adams.
Adams.
Charlie Adams. No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, Jamaicans possess a certain level of arrogance and ignorance, but I don't think we are gone that far where if things are going bad in China with Africans or black, I don't think we're that slow or stupid to take it out on anybody Chinese. I don't think Jamaicans are that ignorant. So anyone of Chinese descendant that's living in Jamaica, I have nothing to worry about. I would bet on that.
Yeah. Delight, the last one. You guys are happy, so that is what counts. Black people need to travel more and discover the world.
Yeah, Delight, without a doubt, black people need to travel more and discover the world because, like I said, I lived in the United States of America for so long, and sadly and shamefully, I have to tell you that while living in the U.S., the only place I've ever went outside of the U.S. was back to Jamaica. And after I got myself out of that tunnel vision, I went to the UK, I met my wife, and we moved back to Jamaica. And after we went back to Jamaica, we've just been taking on the world since then. And I think thus far under my belt, I've got about 25 countries that I've traveled to. So I'm pretty proud of that, but I still want to up the numbers because I've yet to visit Africa. The closest I've been to Africa was where I went the other day, the Canary Islands, but you know, that's technically owned by Spain.
Thoughts on Pan-Africanism?
Charlie Adams.
Pan-Africanism. I'm all for it, you know, but at the same time, I do believe in what I'm trying to say here. I'm pro-African, you know, I'm pro-black, but being pro-African or pro-black doesn't make me anti anything else. You understand? So I'm all for Pan-Africanism, but I'm also in support of mutuality and equality. You know, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my view. I'm not asking my wife if she agrees to that. I'm asking her if she agrees to my view of it, of knowing me over the years and my view of Pan-Africanism.
Did you
I heard that the African and the Jamaican don't live good in Switzerland. They're always fighting. You have any-
African and Jamaican don't live good in Switzerland. Like I say, to my understanding, there's not a lot of Jamaicans here for us and the Africans not to live together.
There
And
are more Africans than Jamaicans.
there are more Africans than Jamaicans here, and believe it or not, one of my only black friend is African. He's from Nigeria. I've never felt any scorn. I've never felt any disrespect from him. He was actually surprised that in Jamaica we don't have tribes. You know, he thought that we had tribes in Jamaica because in Nigeria they have tribes, and that surprised me. I says to him, no, Jamaicans are just Jamaicans. We don't have no tribe. My friend ran a store, and I was there one day, and one of his customer came and he was speaking African to me, and I told him I don't understand. And he said I look like I belong from the Hubu tribe. I didn't know Igbo tribe, the Igbo tribe, and I didn't know what that was until I researched it.
The health light, your field is law. Is it international law?
My field is law, the health light, but I don't have an international law license. I studied law in the United States of America, and I studied some of Jamaican law. I studied law in the UK as well, but I practice law here in Switzerland, but I practice law in Switzerland as a legal consultant. So what I'm saying is, if you know law, I mean, the framework of law is pretty much the same in every modern day country. So moving to Switzerland, all that was required of me was just to pick up some law books and see what their law is governed by. And, you know, being a legal consultant here, I've represented quite a few people.
Yeah.
It's been a success. You know, if I was a licensed attorney here, I would have a clean record because of all the representation I've done. I'm proud to say
Yeah.
I've never lost a case.
So Charlie Adams says, Light says, first of all, Light, the health light says, your wife is an artist. Did she go to school to be an artist? Or it's natural talent.
Runs in the family.
All of my sisters have it, but my mom and dad do not draw for nothing, so I don't know where it comes from.
Mom don't draw,
No.
dad don't draw, but all the girls draw.
Yeah. What else? Question for your wife. Were there tensions between Africans and Caribbean people in Britain when she was living there, growing up there? Well, I was born in Britain, born and bred. But no, I wouldn't say that there was. I mean, I can't remember being at school or college or anything, and there had been some tension. So I have to say no to that question. But if you should ask another
British
person, black British person, then they'll probably have a different answer. But no, there was a little bit of a scorn. That Jamaicans dated Africans or vice versa.
Right. It was like a taboo.
Yeah.
It was a taboo if
but-
Jamaicans should date Africans or Africans should date Jamaicans.
Exactly.
Crime in Switzerland, almost non-existence. Switzerland, you have to see to believe it. You would be surprised to see what people leave outside and still come back 2 days and pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about brand new bicycle. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
exactly. Still be there.
I'm talking about you don't necessarily have to lock your car door.
Police are feared here.
You know, the law.
The law.
The law is very
on a whole.
stern. You know, and the government's provision is so fulfilling that one has very little or no reason to commit a crime, especially theft. But no, crime here is almost non-existent.
Yeah. DJ Rain, how is the tax system in Switzerland? It's like America, right?
The tax system works on two axes here. If you're Swiss, you pay your tax at the end of every year. If you're a legal resident like us, you pay your tax every month. You know, and that makes a lot of sense because being a Swiss resident, you can get up and go home any day.
Brian Bilford is leaving the chat.
Okay.
He's
All right.
gotta go to work.
Okay, Brian, I want to say much respect for sharing your time with me. Thank you very much for participating. It was my first live, and you helped to make it a good one. So thank you very much, and look forward to your commentaries in my upcoming videos.
Delight. I like stern leaders, hence I respect King Jong-un.
Delight, I share the same sentiment, you know. I respect sternness, and I respect rules and regulation that's written in stone. I don't like laws that are floppy or, you know, unstable. And I think that's what Jamaica is suffering from at the moment, because what's law today, tomorrow isn't law. Kwame Ashanti. Okay, so you have visited a lot of nearby country. So, have you been to Switzerland? Treatment is good in the law. And when I say good, the outline, I mean it is fair. Since I've lived there, I've not sensed or felt any bias in the law. The law is the law, and the law swings both ways, and that's what I respect about Switzerland. But what I love the most about Switzerland, and I think what makes Switzerland such a great country, is the simple fact that Switzerland does not have a president or a prime minister. Switzerland is ran like a company with a board of chairmen. So the Swiss have what they call the Swiss Federation, and they have a head of the Swiss Federation. But pretty much no one person makes the rule. So all these people around the table, I believe it's 12, have to give a unanimous yes or a unanimous no in order for a law to be enforced or to be suppressed. So that's what I believe is the key in making Switzerland, Switzerland.
Treatment good in the law?
Yeah, I've covered that. Trevor Isaac, salute, brethren. You know, enough respect. Appreciate you and the wife taking risk. You know, I always say to the wife, and she has adapted it over the years, it's risk versus reward. You know,
Exactly.
if you don't go, you won't know. But Charlie Adams, what's up with Guyanese election? What's going on there? I have no clue what's going on. I'm gonna come back to you. DJ, what I'm saying here,
Where?
DJ Rave Movement. Respect and thank you very much.
Keep up, bro.
Okay, I was just talking to someone. Okay, Charlie Adams. I don't know what's going on in Guyana, but I hope some of my Guyanese viewers reach out to me and keep me up to date on what's going on there, because what I did hear didn't settle well with me, and I would love to hear more about it. Without a doubt, Miss Mention.
Something going on between Delight and Charlie. But it's cool.
Where you at?
Charlie Adams, should the Caribbean be run like Switzerland?
Yes. I'll answer that.
If the Caribbean is run like Switzerland, it would be perfect, but there would be so many haters and so many jealous factors, you know?
Exactly.
But I wish the Caribbean community I was about to say take a page out of the book, but I wish they just take everything out of Swiss book.
Yeah, there's
because
a lot of countries in the world that could learn something from Switzerland, because a lot of things are unique here, you know, I would say.
The outlight, did you get your driver's license? Pretty much yes and no. So here's what happened. After I actually passed because I had to hand in my foreign license. And after I handed in my foreign license, I had to pass a written test. And once I pass a written test, I've got a Swiss license now, but it allows me to drive like normal for the next 2 years. And within the next 2 years, I have to retake my driving test. But at the moment, I'm legit, so the license that I have, I don't need to have an L plate on my car or anything like that. I drive on my own. It's an actual license, but it's not a permanent license. Kind of like a provisional license. Kind of like see how I do in the next 2 years. But it's good. And thanks for asking.
DJ Ray, did you answer that one? Do Jamaicans need a visa to come to Switzerland?
Jamaicans need a visa to come to Switzerland now because Switzerland is a part of the Schengen, so they need a Schengen visa. Interestingly, when I first came to Switzerland the first time, which was 2008, Jamaicans didn't need a visa to come to Switzerland then. You could just, with your Jamaican passport, you could just come. But I believe that changed in 2009, so Jamaicans would need a Schengen visa, and if you acquire a Schengen visa, you can go to all the EU countries with that one visa. So you go to Switzerland, Germany, Italy, and wherever in the EU. What we got? Delight.
Africans, the health like Africans treat you good in Switzerland?
I have one African friend here in Switzerland, and he's been here in our home a few times for dinner. No beef, no drama,
One of our vlogs, isn't it?
Yeah, he's even in one of our vlogs, but that's on my other channel, Ian and Tina. But Africans here give us respect. Most of the time they're surprised when I say I'm from Jamaica. It's not a regular thing. It's not something that people hear every day. I got pulled over in my car by a police, and when he asked me where I'm from, I said I'm from Jamaica, and it changed the whole subject. Jamaica it's not something you hear every day in Switzerland that someone is from Jamaica. So I like it because it makes us as a family feel unique. That we represent Jamaica. What you got?
Charlie Adams, what do you mean by jealous actors if the Caribbean was run like Switzerland? Did we say that?
No, I says if the Caribbean, not only Jamaica, if the Caribbean is ran like Switzerland, let's say the whole Caribbean community take on the Swiss way of life, I think we would be jealous by countries like, say, the United States of America, because we would be so orderly and independent that we wouldn't be leaning in anyone for anything. So not jealous in a negative way, but jealous in a way like, wow, they are like self-sufficient, you know what I mean? Or jealous in a way like, now we have to take something out of the book of the Caribbean people, because they figure it out.
Exactly.
I mean, Switzerland it's a different world. It's ran totally different. I do get more into life in Switzerland on our other channel than I do in this channel.
Yeah. What is the highest tax bracket in Switzerland? I know most of these countries are social capitalists, where taxes are a tad higher compared to the States. However, they receive higher social benefits.
Okay, so how to answer that? The first thing I have to say is, if you're visiting Switzerland, the first thing you're going to think of Switzerland is it's expensive. It's very expensive. Wherever you're from in the world, visiting Switzerland is expensive. So even though you ask about tax bracket, living here in Switzerland, you don't feel the expense as much as a visitor would feel the expense. So what I mean by that is income versus cost levels out, so we don't feel burdened.
No.
The Swiss government sees to it that each household earns an income where 1/3 goes to savings, 1/3 goes to bills, and the next 1/3 goes to lifestyle, and that is mandatory in Switzerland. So, for example, if someone here is unemployed, or if there's a family that's not making enough money, once they let that be known to the Swiss government will make certain that that family lives above a certain poverty line. There's a strict poverty line here in Switzerland, and the government is hell bent on the fact that everyone living in Switzerland must be above that poverty line. The tax bracket varies from business tax to employment tax. So I can't be specific on whether the tax brackets are high or low. I can just say it's worthwhile because everyone that pays tax benefit from the tax
Exactly.
in return. Let me know if you want me to be more specific. What we got?
Last one, divide. Africans are our brothers. Individual people have individual biases.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. Swiss watches. They would like to give out a lot of Swiss watches. Many
The Raging Bajan. Oh, somebody's joined.
drove many places through the countryside. As Kwame Ashanti, Kwame say,
No, the last one
he
there.
lived in Germany.
The Raging Bajan.
The Raging Bajan, big up yourself and thanks for joining. Did we speak about how cold it is? It does get cold there in Switzerland, you know. When it's cold. But on the plus side, the summers are hot.
We didn't have any snow in winter, so
Last winter,
Yeah.
you know. We are in Zurich, so we are in the valley. There are parts of Switzerland that snows, I would say, most of the year. But considering that we are in Zurich, where it's more dense, it gets cold, and when it's cold air, it's really cold. S. Hussein says quarantine is working good for me. Quarantine is not actually working good for me. I think I'm getting fat, bro. You know, Lorraine Codrington, big up yourself, Lorraine. You know that you're one of my favorite subscribers, so big up yourself.
Delight said something. I asked because in the States the highest bracket is around 30% and lowest down to around 14%.
In the tax bracket,
tax bracket.
I don't think the tax bracket here are that high as 30%. I think the highest tax bracket here, the average tax bracket is 8%. The highest tax bracket, I believe, is about 17%. So we're talking about 17 and 8.
Okay. Is Barbados as unpopular with other islands as my Caribbean friends say? They say Bajans look down on the other islands. That's Charlie Adams.
Charlie Adams, I don't know. I mean, when it comes to Caribbean people, I just see us as one. You know, I had a few Bayesian friends when I lived in the United States of America. We lost touch because we didn't have all the social network around at the time. But personally, I love all my Caribbean people. The ones that have something against Jamaicans and the ones that doesn't have anything against Jamaicans. I love all of them. And I understand that Jamaica is most popular among all the Caribbean countries, but that doesn't give me a bigger head. I just see all my Caribbean people as we are one people. And I don't know if Bajans look down on Jamaicans, and I don't have any real proof or evidence of Jamaicans looking down on Bajans.
DJ Rain, sorry, but have to ask, how is the weed law in Switzerland?
The weed law in Switzerland is hilarious. I say that because the first time I saw a bag of weed in Switzerland, it actually had a label and a website on it. And I thought, this is crazy. So weed law in Switzerland, to my knowledge,
It's not yet been legalized.
it's
I don't
not
think.
yet being legalized, but prosecution is not so rampant, to my knowledge, on weed unless you've got like serious weight. But I think if you should be caught with personal use,
But you're allowed to have plenty, I think, but you're not allowed to use them.
well, if you're allowed to have plants, I mean, people are going to use it. But what I'm saying is, unless you are trafficking or manufacturing or selling, that's a different level. But to my knowledge, I mean, I have colleagues that dibble dabble, what you say, leisure smoking.
Yeah.
And they've never seemed too concerned about the police, and they've never seemed too concerned like they're breaking the law. But I need to ask them some questions about that, you know. But to my knowledge, and over the time I've been here, the law is not so rampant on weed smoking. It's not that. I don't know a lot of people that smoke weed.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah. The Rage Invasion saying we are one people. Looking down on each other gets us nowhere. That's
The Rage Invasion.
Caribbean.
I agree with you, but you know what? I'm not even gonna just narrow that down to Caribbean people. I think it's just people in general. I've always said to my son, human beings, we're so vain that if all of us had the same face, the same color, the same everything, we would still find a reason to dislike
Exactly.
another one for no reason. I think it's just boredom. I mean, this morning I was watching an article about Ireland and Northern Ireland. It's one people, you know, who have an actual border in their country to say they're different, because one is Catholic and the other is
Protestant.
Protestant. It's vain in my opinion. So one love to all my Caribbean people, one love to all my black people. Doesn't matter if you're from North America or Africa.
The Health Light. Fruits like tamarinds, mangoes, dill, thyme. Do they have those things? Yeah, here. Yes, they do.
We can get some things close to Jamaican food, our Caribbean food, because we have a lot of Thai people here, and we have Turkish people here, and Turkish and Egyptian, their food are similar to ours.
Exactly.
Critical thinker, enough love and respect.
Charlie Adams says, Barbados is one of the best islands in the Caribbean to live in, I've heard.
I've never actually been to Barbados, but I've seen a lot of vlogs about Barbados. The thing that never really appealed, why it's never appealed to me to visit a lot of Caribbean islands, is just because I think seen one, seen them all, you know? But I'm sure they have their own little unique differences. But after I finish traveling around the world, I'll definitely step back in the pond of the Caribbean and jump from one island to the next.
She's Lorraine Codrington, but she's answering Charlie. In the old days, we were like competing against each other, but that's no longer so. There's too much interracial marriage between
Rage
islands.
invasion. Yeah.
And the Rage Invasion says, is Dunn's River or Grace on the shelf anywhere?
No. Not gonna find any of those brands here. We miss it.
You
know.
would have to ask one of our friends in England to send it us, or when we go to England then.
Either we go to England and get it, or we ask someone in England to ship it to us.
Yeah, when we go to England to visit, we usually, pack a box or pack some stuff in our suitcase.
Kwame Ashanti said, even it's just a normal bigging up of one's eye, nothing personal.
Okay. Now, without a doubt, Kwame Ashanti, you know, I respect every islander, and I respect when every islander or each islander take pride in their own island. But at the same time, I don't want us taking our personal pride in our country as bias against other countries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So respect and love to all my Caribbean people, and I'm right behind them when they wave their individual flags.
Why does Haiti have a bad rep of seeing videos on Bahamians treating Haitians badly?
Say that again.
Why does Haiti have a bad rep?
Why does Haiti have a bad rep? I think Haiti gets a bad rep. I think Haiti gets a bad rep out of poverty. I think because Haiti struggles financially, people just kind of slate it negative. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know why it gets a bad rep, but I think politics plays a big part in everything, you know? And I think if you don't bow to the gods can slate your country in any which way they like. You know, I heard that the Haitians were having problems next door with the Dominicans and they were being mistreated, and I felt for them. Black Crane 303. Because the Haitians are, the Levites are priest Israel. Y'all gotta read for me because
Raging Bajin's feeling for us with no Duns River and Switzerland.
there's a lot of things we lack here in Switzerland, you know. Why for Life have to even make our own bun and cheese, you know. We don't, Easter was here, we don't get bun and cheese here. Only Jamaicans are Caribbean. We celebrate with bun and cheese, nobody else does.
Lorraine says, there are no problems, we have one love. Beijing start speaking at Jamaicans in Okata.
I love my Bajan people. I had one Bajan brethren when I lived in Philadelphia, you know. So love goes out to my Bajan people. Unfortunately, I haven't met a lot of Bajan, but I had one Bajan brethren.
Jamaican thing says, in Germany you can use it, but you're not supposed to have it. You can look up and listen to it.
Okay.
Weed.
Who says that?
DJ Rain.
DJ Rain. Oh, in Germany. You know, I've got a friend in Germany. I hope he knows that because every time I see him on Instagram, he make these videos. He always puffing smoke.
The helpline, Marcus Garvey, do you know much about him?
I know a lot about Marcus Garvey. Love and respect Marcus Garvey. Love his beginning. Can't say I love his end. I love what he represented. I love where he was going for, but I also I'm not in full agreement with everything that Marcus Garvey was about. He's about Pan-Africans, you know, and he believes that Africa is for Africans. I can't say I agree with that 100%, but I've covered that before in a video, but I can definitely cover it again in another video. But all in all, love, respect what Marcus Garvey represented. As you know, no man is perfect, so I wouldn't say I respect everything he stood for, but I respect most of what he stood for.
Raging Beijing said, Switzerland sounds a lot like Norway. My Jamaican godmother moved to Norway from London in the 1980s and couldn't get the products for decades.
It's pretty much the same today. I mean, if you're in Switzerland, it's very hard to get your cultural things, you know. I'm losing light, so I'm either going to take you guys out on the balcony, show you all a little bit about Switzerland. Open the door for me. Take them out because I'm losing light. As much as I would love to talk a lot more, I'm gonna turn around and show you guys. This is actually what I look at when I look out my balcony. Oh, there's a Swiss flag there. All right.
Put some lights, I don't see.
Yeah, let's put some lights on because I'm losing light.
If not, then we have to.
Yeah, if we can.
Health is beautiful.
If we. So now I've got the house lights on. Ask any question, guys. Yeah, DJ Rain, it's just like Germany. Switzerland look pretty much the same. Switzerland, the only thing I can say to people is especially my Caribbean people, you know, we're excited people and we love excitement. Switzerland is a bit, I was about to say bits. Switzerland is a lot quiet, you know, so if one can adjust from all that excitement
Yeah.
to calm and serenity, then they will enjoy Switzerland. Otherwise, you could be bored to death. Okay. Esther says, "You're working with me or what?"
Yeah, I'm looking at the TV. Think Haiti is still paying France like other former French colonies. 2. Haitian leaders exploited the country. Not everyone is dirt eating poor.
No, I don't believe that everyone in Haiti is dirt poor. You know, Jamaica is not a rich country, but you've got multimillionaires in Jamaica. So I do believe that you have multimillionaires in Haiti as well. The only sad thing is that anytime blacks are left to run a country, there's always corruption.
Yeah. Raging Beijing, excuse me for being done. Sport. What language is spoken in Switzerland? Like Luxembourg, have Luxembourgish. Do Swiss people speak Swiss?
Raging Beijing, Switzerland has 4 national languages: German, Italian, French, and Romance.
Excuse me?
So I live in Zurich, so I speak German. Bless you. I live in the closer side, and Geneva is the French side, so they speak French. And Ticino is closer to Italy, so they speak Italian, and so on and so forth.
I thought Haiti finished paying France in 1946. Oh,
That's
they're talking between each other. How is the drug problem over there in Switzerland? Howard Mullings.
Howard Mullings, there's no drug problem here. There is no drug problem here in Switzerland. Unlike the United States of America and other country where you would see junkies or
Yeah.
crackheads, not here. It's non-existent.
DJ Raheem Movements, you taught me G and he said bless you.
DJ Raheem, bless you.
I would have to learn to ski if I live. Would I have to learn to ski if I live in Switzerland?
No, join the pack. You don't have to learn to ski if you live in Switzerland. We've never been skiing.
No, not yet.
Jay has been skiing. Our son has been skiing.
With the school, they have annual trips to ski resorts, so the kids know how to ski.
Charlie Adams.
Snowboard.
Friends still having colonies in Africa. I'm not gonna lie, those things bother me, you know, to see it happening today, in today's day and age. That European countries still have colonies. I was watching a documentary the other day about a country in Africa called Namibia. And it's crazy to see that more than half the population are white Germans, you know. And not only that, I'm not against coexistence. I'm just against the vivid segregation line.
Yeah.
Where I'm talking about one person will have 500 acres, and obviously that person is white German, and then another person just lives in a shack that's made out of zinc.
Conversations ended.
Yeah. Anyway, people, I'm gonna wrap up now because I said I was gonna be here for an hour and a half, and I've actually been here for exactly an hour and a half, come to think of it. So, without being specific in names, I want to tell everybody that signed in today, much appreciation for making my first YouTube live a success. And I want to say the conversation was fun, it was interesting. And obviously I got to watch this all over again to see how I did. So people, I want to say thank you and enough respect. And like I always say on my channel, people, Well, I can't say it now because I used to say give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So I can't say it now. So until next time, people. Peace.